This guide shows you how to find your first apartment or flat share in Berlin. Yes, it's really hard. You must send dozens of applications to find something. It can take months to find an apartment. During your search, you might need a temporary place to live. For example, you can stay with a friend or rent a temporary furnished apartment. If you just moved to Berlin, it's harder to find an apartment. You are in your probation period, you have no credit history, and you might not have a residence permit yet. Landlords prefer more stable tenants. It's easier to find an apartment if you are already in Berlin. You can visit apartments in person and avoid scams. If you look for a flat share, you can meet potential roommates face to face. You must do this before you apply for apartments. Open a bank account. You usually pay the rent by SEPA transfer from a European bank account. You can also send money from another country with Wise. Save money. You need enough money to pay the deposit and the first month of rent. The deposit is usually 3 times the cold rent. You will also need to buy furniture, appliances, and house supplies. Prepare your documents. Get all the documents you need to apply for an apartment. If you find a place you like, you must apply quickly. It's usually 3 times the cold rent. You get it back when you move out. You can pay it in 3 installments. More information. Cold rent and warm rent in Germany. There is the cold rent, Kaltmiete, and the warm rent, Warmmiete. It's what you pay every month. Nothing is included. Apartments usually come without a washing machine, curtains, light fixtures, or a furnished kitchen, stove, fridge, sink. Regular apartments come unfurnished. You must buy your own fridge, washing machine, light fixtures, curtains, and cookware. In Berlin, apartments must come with a stove and a sink. You need more time to find a regular apartment because there is more competition for them. You also need more time to move in, buy everything, get an internet connection, and get an electricity contract. It's a long-term investment. A regular apartment is cheaper in the long term. Your rent is lower because you don't rent the furniture with it. Look for regular apartments. Furnished apartments are very expensive, but they have benefits. Everything included. You don't need to get an internet contract, an electricity contract, furniture, appliances, or cookware. You can just move in and focus on other problems. Immigrant friendly. You can book an apartment before you arrive in Germany. They don't ask for documents that immigrants don't have, like a SCHUFA. Less competition. These apartments are too expensive for most people, so there is less competition for them. They are a little easier to find. Furnished apartments are a good temporary solution while you look for a regular apartment. They are too expensive to live in permanently. Some furnished apartments have a booking fee or a cleaning fee. 1-2. If you rent for less than 6 months, you might pay 19% VAT. 1-2. Look for furnished apartments. Sharing an apartment with other people is cheaper and easier. Shared costs. You can split the cost of rent, internet, electricity, TV tax, and other bills. You save a lot of money. Lower deposit. Your deposit is limited to 3 times your cold rent. Your rent is lower, so your deposit is also lower. Many things included. Your roommates might already have most of the things you need. You don't need to get an internet contract or an electricity contract. Finding a WG is also very hard. 1-2. There is a lot of competition. Usually, you must pass an interview with your roommates. Most interviews are like a personality test, but interviews for a WG are more formal. Student dorms are one of the cheapest options, but they are hard to get. Student housing has long waiting lists. Look for student housing. If you just moved to Berlin, don't buy an apartment. It's harder than finding an apartment to rent. If you don't have EU citizenship or German permanent residency, it's really hard to get a mortgage. Ask your friends, family, and colleagues first. Many people find an apartment this way. If you are new in Berlin, ask your diaspora, your colleagues, and classmates. If you already live in Berlin, ask your Hausverwaltung if they have other apartments to rent. They prefer to rent to someone they trust. They can put you on a waiting list and show you unlisted apartments. If you are in university, your university has help clinics for new students and boards where they put apartment listings. 1. eBay Kleinanzeigen, biggest classified ad site. You can set search alerts. Immobilien Scout 24, biggest apartment listing site. Immowelt Imminent Immobilo.Kaleido.Ditte Wohnungsbörse. Home HT, Craigslist, not popular in Germany. Most ads are scams. 1-2. Berlin Apartments 110.000 members. Flats in Berlin 100.000 members. WG Zimmer und Wohnung in Berlin 100.000 members. Berlin Housing, Nestpick 55,000 members. Berlin WG Zimmer Wohnung 54,000 members. Berliner Wohnungsbörse 50,000 members. Berlin Housing 50,000 members. Berlin Apartments and Rooms for Rent 35,000 members. Wohnung in Berlin und Umgebung 28,000 members. Zimmer in Berlin, Zwischenmiete 25,000 members. Berlin Startup Flats 20,000 members. Berlin Rooms and Flats to Rent 19,000 members. Romigo 18,000 members. Berlin Long Term Flats 10,000 members. WG Gesucht most popular website. Very competitive. WG Such. Studierenden WERK Berlin affordable student housing. Jewelbag state-owned housing with some student apartments. Smartments all included student housing. Expensive. HomeLike shows you if you can get a Wohnungsgeberbescheinigung for your Anmeldung. Housing Anywhere shows you when the Anmeldung is possible. Wunderflats shows you when the Anmeldung is possible. No Schufa required. Spot AMA listings have video tours and lots of photos. Krokodilian Anmeldung always possible. Berlinovo. Coming home. Ex Berliner. Smartments Business Apartments. White Apartments. Nestpick mostly listings from other websites. Faraway Home Luxury Apartments. Temporary Flat Rentals in Berlin Facebook Group, 15,000 members. You can rent a vacation apartment. You rent by the day, and you can rarely do your Anmeldung there.